Hey everyone, Thyworm here with a video on how I made my +2 helmet in SSF. This video is aimed primarily at those not so great at crafting, like myself. I'm sure there are more methods, feel free to post those in the comments, as well as improvements to any of the processes or the steps that I did. Let's dive in. Let's first quickly explain why you would want a +2 minion helmet to begin with. It is for two reasons. First, minion gems scale very well with levels. They typically get more life, do more damage, sometimes they get more resistances or even other effects. Second, most minion builds run specters, and once the specter skill gem reaches level 25, it hits a breakpoint. From level 25 onwards, the gem allows you to raise 3 specters instead of the usual 2 specters, which you would have at, for example, raise specter level 20. Getting the specter skill gem to level 25 can be challenging, but +2 minion helmets help with that. There is one honorable mention that's got nothing to do with crafting that I want to mention or to make. That is the map runners in King's March. It may be a personal bias, sure, but for the last few leagues, these guys have brought me multiple +2 minion helmets. Those will be on bases that are less than ideal most of the time, but having a +2 minion helmet outweighs those negatives by quite a bit. I just wanted to mention this. There's also a dishonorable mention, and that is that you should really not try to do this with chaos spamming or alteration spamming. The weighting of the +2 minion roll is way too low for you to ever hit this, unless you are incredibly lucky. And for that same reason, as fossils can't guarantee a minion roll, unlike harvest rerolls can, using fossils isn't a great idea either. Then, for prerequisites, you need a helmet, first of all, of at least item level 75. I'm personally using an item level 85 helmet, hoping for high rolls on other modifiers. The second prerequisite is crystallized rancor, which you can farm from harvests in Mirage. I've done a lot of experiments and finally landed on a tree which blocks everything but harvest, doesn't have any other league mechanic on it such as shrines or strongboxes, and that is all, so you have a very high chance that the Mirage spawns near the harvest. In my case, in 20 maps, that was always the case with this tree. 100% of the time the Mirage spawned near the harvest, thus making harvest part of the Mirage, which is what you want. I then loaded up a bunch of random rare tier 16 maps, rushed to the Mirage, checked if it spawned near the harvest. If so, I enter the Mirage and immediately check the harvest for a crop that has the corpse grown tag, a corpse grown worm or a corpse grown pest. These are the crops that drop the stuff you're looking for, crystallized rancor. They drop at least 1, I've had them drop up to 3 at a time. I found them in around half the cases with my Atlas tree. If at any point you don't see what you're looking for, so either the Mirage isn't near the harvest, or the harvest itself doesn't contain the corpse-grown crops, just exit the Mirage, exit the map and load in the next one. As soon as you have the rancor, you do the same thing. Be aware, multiple crops per harvest can have corpse-grown crops, and sometimes you're even getting lucky and multiple plants spawn within a field. The odds of hitting +2 on the helmet are 1 in 11, and each try costs 3 rancor, so on average you will need 33 rancors. If you are unlucky, however, it could easily be twice that much, but with the rancor rush farming strategy, they're really not that hard to obtain. Finally, you also need a benchcraft recipe. Prefixes cannot be changed, which drops from the Coward's Trial. I want to emphasize there are likely 100 ways to do this. I will just share what I did. Step 1 involves getting a decent fractured modifier. I started with rolling the helmet in the harvest bench, reforging defense for 75 blue juice, hoping to hit good defensive modifiers, which here I do. Decent defenses, high life is pretty good. I lock prefixes and use a field chaos orb and get a single field modifier as a suffix. That is a good outcome. Now I just have to block some of the outcomes that the unveil can give me, for example the focus craft, which I do not want. If you block it by crafting it already yourself on the bench before you unveil the item, it won't show up in the unveil options as the mod is already on the item. So you should block a common mod, and I use Craft of Exile websites to find the most common modifier on this particular item. Just use Ctrl-Alt-C when you hover over your item in-game and then import it, and use Ctrl-V to import the item, and then you can see exactly what the weightings are if you scroll down to the field modifiers list. I want the outcomes with the 600 weighting, so I'm going to block one of the outcomes with 1000 weighting. I block the trigger when you focus, ensuring that won't be unveiled. I'm getting a double hybrid resistance after unveiling, and then a mod I don't want, so I pick the fire and chaos resistance. I remove the crafted modifier, and step 1 is almost done. I now have 4 good affixes for the fracturing orb to hit. It unfortunately hits the worst one, but yeah, you can't win them all. I could retry this entire process, but I'm okay with this. It is still life and armor, it is not bad. Step 2 is trying to hit the +2 minion mod. What you have to realize that on a helmet, modifiers with the minion tag are very rare. In fact, there are only 2 modifiers which are +1 to minions and +2 to minions. If you would check Craft of Exile, which I suggest you do, you will see the weighting again, where +1 minion has a weighting of 250 and +2 minions has a weighting of 25. As we are guaranteed with the Reforge to hit a minion affix, the absolute numbers, so the 250 doesn't matter, but the relative numbers do, so 25 relative to 250, that is once out of 11 tries to hit the +2 minion affix. Every other time you will get +1, and you will notice that once we start applying the Reforged Minion craft. Most of these outcomes are +1, but fortunately for me, because I was running out of rancors at this point, I had 37 at the start, I do ultimately hit the +2. Step 3 is to clean this item up and craft the best possible extra modifiers or affixes. What is helpful is that both the +2 minion and my fractured mod are prefixes, meaning I can craft prefixes cannot be changed and hit it again with the field chaos orb. While prefixes cannot be changed according to the craft, I do have an open prefix which may get filled up, and it does with mana. This is not considered changing a prefix. It should really say I feel existing prefixes cannot be changed, because it can still add modifiers. So adding a mana roll, that is not great, but it cannot be fixed, I don't think. We do get one veiled suffix modifier and no other suffixes, meaning we do the same thing as before. We lock a veiled mod outcome by crafting it before we unveil the item, and we get another fire and chaos resistance roll, which is a good outcome. I decide to craft another hybrid chaos resistance on there, you can do that, and then all that is left is to close our eyes and slam using an exalted orb for a very respectable max roll tier 1 lightning resistance. That is not too shabby at all. Step 4 is finishing the item with colors, links, etc. I apply the 2 Eldritch implicits I'm looking for, meaning minion movement speed and physical damage taken as, and I noticed I had an Orb of Conflict which increases the tier of one of the implicits and lowers another. I decide to use it. I have it anyway, I might get an upgrade this way, and it increases the minion movement implicit. It's not bad at all. I go to town to change the helmet, that is just something I do out of practice to hopefully preserve my specters, but as you take out the specter gem, they will die, and their corpses will all be at your waypoint in the hideout. This is pretty scary, but it works out. Just make sure that you don't have an offering in a trigger 1, so you blow up those corpses the moment that you enter your own hideout. As all my gear is now armor/energy shield based, I can take the mastery for 100% increased armor and energy shield on body armor, bringing my energy shield to almost 3000. And I feel that is enough to swap to the mind over matter plus the wicked ward setup. But that's it really. Hopefully I explained the steps decently well. Good luck crafting, and thanks for watching and making it to the end. Love you all. See you soon. Bye bye.